Thank you, everyone. So, just for a bit of context, does anyone have run a marathon before? Have you run? Do you like running? Yes. Would you like to run a marathon? Yes. Amazing. Okay, so here's my story. I'm a Berliner. I'm a tech founder who built like a travel app called Wandernary. But this talk is not about that. It's about me as a Neo4j ninja who fell in love with running, although I'm not very good at it. And that means the next side quest was unlocked. So last year, I ran Berlin Marathon in 2024. That was easy-ish. You know, it's a base. I train here. Everything is familiar. The terrain is flat. If you live in Berlin, you know that Berlin is pretty much flat. So it's also easily one of the best marathon course in the world. And it's the fastest marathon. So it's easy to do. And I feel like everything is already connected. I like training for it. I like running for it. So yeah, everything is connected in my head. And then this year, I want to run Kyoto because this year in Kyoto they have the special edition of the Super Mario Bros. And if you are a fan of Nintendo and Mario and Luigi, you want to go just to get the bib. So there I go. Flew to Japan for my second marathon. Trained really hard in this beautiful Berlin Siberian winter last time, which is very slippery and cold. But by the time I got finished in Kyoto, I mean I finished, but it was very hard in the end because you have a lot. I asked ChatGPT how to pace me there. They have a late climb. The pace was really, I need to pace it really slow. There was even a Bowser in the end. So yeah, I trained really hard, but the hills had other plans. So I figured, okay, what can I do to make this better next time? I know that as a Neo4j person who likes graph, I know everything is connected. The information exists, just this time not in my head. So I have the run that I did, the Berlin Marathon and the Kyoto Marathon. I have the race, Berlin Marathon, Kyoto. It's one training block was in summer, the other training block was in winter, and what is the connection? Now, the other thing you need to know about me, I do run, but I'm slow. So my other concern is not just because of the speed, but whether I be finished without the bus taking me to the finish line. So, which makes it really interesting because every obstacle is an obstacle for me because I have half an hour extra time. If it's hilly and I can't run it, it may be over for me. So I put it in the graph and try to see what are the connection that I can put for running. In my case, is it so you have for marathon is all like 42 kilometer, 42,195. And there are different marathons. Of course, like there's different season, like Kyoto and Paris are both in spring. Berlin Marathon is in autumn. Like Kyoto is in Asia. Obviously, you know all this. And Berlin and Paris are in Europe. There's London is also in Europe. There's a race profile, like how flat it is. And then because also for me, it's quite important, like how do you know that it's okay if you run slow? Every marathon, you can find out like what is the regular finish line. So what is on the news is always the fastest runners, like the 2 hour runners. But like if you are in the end of the group, like at the 5 hour runs, how many are you left at the 5 hours? Like is it you'll have 100%, 1,000%, and then that would define what kind of race would that feel. So all of these data from Neo4j, I modeled it in the desktop. And we're like right now with Neo4j Aura, you can deploy it one click away, and you put it up to the Neo4j Aura, and you can get an agent to ask for what's the data can do for you. In my case, it was pretty easy. Like what I really want to know is what I can learn better. So if I run something like Kyoto next time, the harder marathon, like what should I be prepared for? In this case, like with Aura, it's very easy. Everything you can ask, like just can you find my data for other runs? And you can be, and this is the data for my run, which is much easier to read than this. And you can ask question like, if I would run 6 hours, can I have a toilet break? Also very important for me because I realized when I run Kyoto, I cannot have a toilet break anymore. So with the graph, I managed to get a summary of my performance. Obviously, this still is a little bit hallucinating. Like the field percentile is 90. I don't have a very strong performance. But what's interesting is the observation that I would perform significantly better in Berlin when it's flatter, cooler, and has more comfortable cutoff. And from the information that you give with the elevation profile and how much of the cutoff and my age and the temperature, you can basically adjust your performance in the new city. So for like in my case, like I finished 20 minutes slower than I was in Berlin, but I actually trained harder for Kyoto. So this kind of information I probably should take in mind before I sign up for my next marathon. So I think it's still worth it to do to run in Kyoto, but now I can prove it because the gap between training in Berlin and Kyoto was not what can be improved. And I have to be careful when choosing somewhere that is like really like I need to think that my time could be off by 20 minutes when the new city is more hilly, significantly hilly than Berlin. Yeah. So my conclusion is like the graph can't really override your heart, but it would have told me the truth on how I would train, and I would still go for it. That's all for my talk, actually. And if you want to see like a demo of what it looks like in Aura or like the database, like come me up. Thank you so much for your time.